A lot of times in the news we hear about guys that have gotten arrested, locked up, and what really goes on in those days. So what better person to talk to about it than the sheriff, Bob McCabe. How you doing?
Hey, Bob, good to see you again. Thanks.
So, yeah, I want to talk to you about a day in the life in the jail and kind of what goes on in your world. And I noticed you brought somebody with you to talk about it.
I brought over our newest member here of our staff, yes. Greg Thomas, he's our new inmate program manager.
Good. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Bob. Welcome.
So I guess I should start this off. We know what his day in the life is, and we'll talk to Bob in a second. What's your day in the life like?
My day starts pretty early, about 7 o'clock. I have the inmates journaling now, something that they've never done before. I collect journals at 7:15 and read through them and make my comments. And at 8 o'clock, I'm out on the floor, and we're starting groups. And we do groups from 8 o'clock till about 5 o'clock every day.
So keep them busy, but
keeping them busy.
But with a growth in mind?
With a growth in mind. They're here, they're in the system, and they're in the facility. And what we're hoping to do is to give them the tools that they can use, that once they're released, that they can go back out and use those tools and have a better life, have a better quality of life, different way of thinking about things, make better choices.
Because you just hit it on the head. They're going to be released.
Absolutely.
So we need to be prepared in order for them to come back out.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
So Bob, what is your day like then?
Well, you know, having the jail and the courts and training academy and all that stuff, you know, I kind of look at things from a broader view. But, you know, philosophically, I mean, I've always been asked this, you know, since I've been sheriff, you know, is everybody in there bad, or, you know, why do they get to do this, or why do they get to do that? And the fact is that most people in jail are getting out. You know, our average length of stay is, you know, 58 days to 60 days. And so most of our folks are getting out within, you know, 2 months to a year. Most jails and prison, 5 to 8% is really your hardcore murderers and rapists, and, you know, they're not going to be getting out anytime soon. So I've always looked at it, being a, you know, law enforcement guy all my life, is it's really a crime prevention tool. Because as these folks are in jail, and pun is intended, there's nothing like a captured audience.
Right.
And so we have anger management, substance abuse, we have spiritual programs, we have you know, GED programs, educational things. And so you can't make them go to any of these programs, but if you can kind of motivate them and get them to do that, then hopefully you can have them look at themselves and go, you know, I need to do something with my life other than what I, you know, keep doing to get in trouble. And when they get out, hopefully they'll have a more positive outlook, and they'll become productive members of society versus being, you know, ones who get in trouble.
Because television is now starting to almost glamorize jail with the shows that are out there. So, you know, I know quite often we'll have you on because of the generosity of your foundation and doing summer camps and things like that. We're in the middle of summer, so you're doing summer camps?
We are. We're in the middle of it.
So you're out there sweating and throwing a football?
Well, I haven't been out there as much because it has been about 90 degrees, but kids have been having a ball all summer.
Yeah. Now, but so that's why I kind of wanted to spend some time on this. So just kind of talking about not only the day in life, but we're showing some shots and some video. I mean, it's not a pleasant place to be. It's not a hotel that you're going to want to sign up for, right?
No, and I'll let Greg expand on it. You know, imagine being in a big room with, you know, 40, 50 other guys, and you have, you know, 2 places to go to the bathroom. They don't have doors on them, so there's no privacy at all. You have a clear shower curtain. You know, so people see you take a shower and see you go to the bathroom. And, you know, those are kind of private things that most people, you know, expect to stay private. But there's really no expectation of privacy. You lose your freedom and you lose your expectation of privacy. But you still also have, you know, other rights, due process, if you get, you know, violations and things. But it's not a country club, and most people don't want to go there. That's why we have a lot of folks that go out on our work release, because you can't make these guys do anything. They have to volunteer. So we have a really robust work release program, a workforce program, and so you know, our weekenders, we've talked about that in the past. These are your bad drivers that, you know, don't get it, you know, after once or twice. So, you know, judges will give them a weekend in jail, and instead of going to the jail, they'll report on Saturday morning, go clean up in the community, go home, come back on Sunday. And so we're getting productivity out of them, but they're kind of like, regular citizens that just, have a hard time telling the difference between yellow and red and the number on the speedometer.
Put a bad driver on the side of the road cleaning up litter, he'll think about being a bad driver.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what are some of the what are the basic services that the sheriff's office should be providing in a jail then?
Well, the basic ones is you have to provide food, you have to provide medical care. Most jails don't have to, but most jails will provide some type of educational programs. All the work release stuff and all the different programs we do, that's not that's not something that every jail does. If somebody comes into jail for not paying child support, my thing is if they're nonviolent and they don't have any other record, why wouldn't you want to try to allow them to keep working? The money comes to us and we make sure all the child support payments are paid, and so that way those responsibilities are taken care of, instead of just having somebody sit in a jail and it just keeps accruing and accruing, and we're just never going to solve that issue. So we try to have the balance. Those who fit the criteria to go out that are nonviolent, then we'll give them an opportunity to make an impact positively in their life.
And they are giving back to the community by the work they're doing. So who is in that jail? Not people. You know what I mean by what kind of people are in the jail? What kind of crimes?
Well, probably it's broken down. We have about 25% are minimum security. Those are your nonviolent folks. Those are the ones that go out and do the workforce stuff and all. Then you have probably about 8% maybe are maximum. Those are your hardcore guys that will cut your throat and go get breakfast and not think about it. The rest of them are in the middle between minimum and medium security. And again, our average length of stay is 58 to 60 days. So we can either just let them sit there, do their time, and then just open the door and let them go out, or we can try and provide some type of programs which have proved to be very successful, so that folks will choose a different path when they get out.
And this is where Greg comes in.
And this is where Greg
comes in.
I'll tell you, he came to us. He's been doing a lot of this. He's a retired Navy guy, and he's been doing a lot of work prior to coming to the jail. And I'll let Greg talk to you. He's bringing one of the programs that he's been doing for a few years with the DAD program, and I think it's going to be very successful.
That is really, I mean, I've heard a little bit about it, so let's expand upon it.
I think that's going to be the flagship program for the facility. It's called Inside Out Dad. It's through National Fatherhood Institute, and basically what we're doing is working with the fathers, the incarcerated fathers that are 120 to 90 days out of outside of their release, just acclimating them to going back into the community, going back into their homes, working with them, showing them the responsibilities and the accountabilities that they have, not just towards their children, as the sheriff said, not just for child support, but even for moral support and education and spiritual growth. And if they're not connected with that mother, they have to be connected with the mother, because she's the gateway to that child. So working with them and co-parenting as well.
There are a lot of issues that put them in, and we're dealing with men because the women have been, you've now divided it, right?
Yeah, we had a good problem. We used to have almost 200 women in our jail. And what has occurred over the last several years is our female population has dropped to where you have to keep the women and the men separate. And we've had the third floor of Norfolk City Jail for women as far as anybody can remember, but we only had half, we have 2 towers. We had 1 tower that was empty.
Wow.
We had empty beds. And so what we ended up doing was getting with the regional jail, which we're a partner with in Portsmouth. And so we moved we had about 120 females and moved over there. And so now that way it opens up, it's going to be an all-male jail. And that way it opens up a lot more programs, to be able to kind of, try to reach these folks, the guys, before they get out in a few months.
So you're able to deal with the men, and there's a lot of issues that put them in there. So how do you kind of pull that apart?
Therapeutically, just to work with them through their journaling, I learn a lot about them. So sometimes you might not want to talk, or they might not want to talk directly to me, or even in a group, but through their journaling, when they can trust that the journal is confidential, it's between myself and them, they'll open up and talk. I also provide one-on-one counseling once a week with everyone that's willing to accept that. But I think the root cause of most of those problems are the dysfunctionality that they grew up in. Broken homes, drugs and alcohol in the home, and things of that nature, low self-esteem, confidence, anger. So when we can address those issues, I think that gives them an opportunity to see more of what they're doing and understand that some of the choices that they're making, accountability, is based on some of their thought processes and how they were raised.
Because in many cases, they're going to go right back into that same environment.
Absolutely. So when they're faced with that situation again, as I said earlier, we fill the toolbox up with some things that they can use to make a better choice.
Now, we are in Norfolk trying to really encourage our residents to become engaged and to not just point out a problem, but be part of the solution. Is there a role that residents can play in,
absolutely,
in changing the life in the
well,
jail?
The folks that are coming out are going to be coming back into the community. And so, half the folks in the jail, are from the community here in Norfolk. So, a lot of times when I say, not everybody in jail is a bad person, and people raise their eyebrows, well, what are they doing in jail? Well, they do some stupid stuff. They make poor decisions. But by the grace of God, it's not one of our kids or nephews or nieces. And so they're coming back in our community. So I think the community can either embrace them, trust but verify, as somebody used to say. But they're going to be part of our community, and we're hoping to do our part, try and make them kind of see the benefits of being responsible and not making the bad choices that they're doing, and then hopefully they'll have a little bit of support in the community.
Well, thank you for shedding some light on the day in the life of people in that big building, or as you say, one of the largest hotels we have in.
That's right, the largest.
It is the largest.
We've got the most beds of any hotel.
And the food?
In Norfolk. Well, the food is,
On that note.
On that note.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me,
Appreciate
Bob.
it. Thanks for being with us. I missed our cafeteria, though.